Like, are we
Spectacular.
rating it right away? Just gonna go
It's
full
bananas.
bananas right now. You know, um, it's heavily based on the animated series
Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, as we know, I haven't been keeping up close enough. I have not seen Rebels. I haven't
Right.
seen all of Clone Wars. Um, I'm
Right.
really slacking.
Right. Because I mean, missing those two things really skews your view while you're watching
Yeah,
it.
I feel
Like I think you
like
can appreciate the show as a standalone, but you're not going to have the same emotional reactions to some of the things,
certain
like
characters.
the characters, just those little tidbits that are sprinkled throughout the
Yeah,
whole thing. As somebody who's watched both of those, I am absolutely rewatching Rebels.
it'll get me watching it. Um, it's something I've always intended to watch to begin with, and this kind of excites me to watch that because I did enjoy this episode,
Yep,
or these two episodes
that's
actually,
right.
episode 1 and 2.
Just dropping bombs.
Yeah. But if you haven't seen it yet, it is recommended to watch Rebels
I
first.
I would, if your plan is to like binge this after the whole series is out or whatever, or even if it's not and you feel like you can wait to watch it, if you watch Rebels at least before you watch this, I think you'll have a bigger it'll have a bigger impact
I
for sure.
agree, and if you don't plan on doing that, still a great show as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
It had everything that a good show should have so far,
I think so.
right? Great characters, which again, I think I would appreciate more
Yeah.
had
Or
I.
maybe not. I know there's been some bits and pieces where people are like picking apart different characters. Ahsoka for one, just because she's much more broody and less of that energetic.
Yeah, she's
Um,
much more adult.
yeah, well first she's much more adult, but also like she's gone through some things, right? Like her master or her former master before
Yeah.
she walked away became Darth Vader. So
Well, and that's even brought up in this at a moment where she says like, "I I never got to finish my
yeah,
training."
yeah, she walked away from the whole order. And if you haven't finished Clone Wars, there's a spoiler alert for you. By the way, spoiler alerts
Yeah. Spoiler alerts.
certainly gonna
Heavy.
happen. We're gonna talk
Um,
deep.
I'm not too worried about spoiler alerts because I do a lot of research,
Yeah,
and so I get basic plots and stuff like that, right? There's still a lot I want to learn, right? I want to learn a lot about how she got her white sabers,
yeah,
for instance.
yeah. And
Um,
yeah, I don't know that it's really explained a ton of that, um, because I my understanding of the white saber is a lot of the times white sabers are from taking those red kyber crystals and cleansing them,
yeah,
and then you end up with those white
which
ones.
is
So
still I find that very
yeah,
interesting,
it
right?
could be a cool little
Um,
path, and I'm hoping they'll explore pieces of
yeah.
that as we're kind of going along.
So we'll get right kind of into the story plot
Sure.
if we can. Um, how does this start out, pretty much?
First of all, can we just mention that it starts out with the opening scroll, which I have been missing.
Yeah, but
In
it's
some
not the same old scroll.
No, it's a little different. It's got
First
the
off, it's
red.
red, and it goes straight up rather than fade into the
Yeah,
distance, right?
yeah. So it
Which
was
I don't
different.
mind.
No, you can change the scroll, but I'm just excited that they had like a nice little opening scroll.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't have the a long time ago in a galaxy far away bit.
Which it always gives a little bit of backstory, which I find helpful and not helpful
Yeah,
because Star Wars is a universe where they pack a lot in between
yeah,
shows and movies and stuff like that.
yeah. But I mean, so even for like the original trilogy, it started in the middle of a story, right?
Hmm.
Like it's not like you
Yeah.
had backstory and stuff like that. Um, Even that first episode that ever came out, it had oh, he fought with me in the Clone Wars. Nobody
Yeah.
knows that doesn't even exist. Nobody knows anything
There's
about that.
there's a lot of building blocks that they had to put in
Yeah,
later and reference that,
which is
which
just cool.
it's fantastic. But what I'm saying is that, like, if you go and you start watching the movies, if I don't go and watch a rundown video
Hmm.
of what happened in between the movies, I'm lost.
Yeah,
I'm like, what happened?
yeah,
Because there's comic books, there's
yeah,
novels, there's all sorts of
yeah.
stuff that are all canon in between these things, right? I don't find that this one had quite so much of a gap, right?
Yeah. No, it
Most
was
things were pretty understandable.
pretty close after Rebels finishing, I think, in timeline. Um, that it's not such a jump
Yeah.
if you've seen Rebels.
I mean, I did a little bit of a rundown and stuff like that, but I'd like to watch it fully.
Yeah.
But then again,
You're still Clone Warring.
I'm still
So,
clone warring it up, right? So, it's a big undertaking, right?
yeah, I don't know if anybody can hear that. That's the resident Coco and Kitten.
Coco and Kitten, the resident feline, and they're very loud.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know that these mics pick it up though.
I'm hoping they don't pick it up too
So,
much. But yeah, it looks like we're crazy
so
people.
apparently we get to hear it,
Yeah.
but you guys don't. So we apologize for that.
Yeah, hopefully one of the cats will just crawl right up to the microphone and
Yeah.
scream, so you can get the full effect.
Yeah. So this.
So opening scroll, and then we jump into one of the New Republic starships, the big starships, carrying a prisoner, Morgan Elspeth. This is if you did not watch season 2 of The Mandalorian, you would not know who Morgan Elspeth is, or the fact that Ahsoka debuted on there.
Yeah, so go back and watch that, I guess. Like, see, this is what I mean. Star Wars is like a...
But you don't even have to watch all of The Mandalorian. You just need those couple episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Star Wars, you can't get away with just hopping into an episode of something, right?
No. There's some great standalone things that they do,
Yeah.
and then there's these ones that are immersed in the world that you just can't get away from those other pieces.
You need the building blocks.
Yeah.
So does it start on that ship?
Yeah. It starts with the captain guy there. And I was gonna write his name down, but then he dies almost immediately. So I was like, you know what?
It's a moo point.
Yeah, he's the guy. He was a captain. Now he's dead.
It's a moo. What?
He's a Star Trek red shirt. That's what he is.
What? It's a moo point. It's a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter.
Did you say moo? Did you say moo?
Yeah, it's a moo point. It's a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter. It's moo.
Moo. Yeah. Okay, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Oddly enough.
If Joey Tribbiani says it, I'm fine with it.
Oh, it's a Friends reference. Wow. That's showing your age.
Yeah, it is showing my age.
We just lost all of our
younger
audience right there. So we get to meet the two of the, well, I guess all three of I think the main big baddies, other than Thrawn, whom is going to be one of those reveals.
Yeah, so this is leading up to Thrawn.
Thrawn is going to be one of those things.
That's going to be like a glorious thing.
I'll lose my damn mind. Yeah. I'll lose my mind. It's gonna.
I hope so.
I'll just be. I don't have. I'm not full of energy right now. I had a long week.
That's you losing your mind, I guess. Yeah. Eh? Ooh. I can't wait to see that. We're gonna have to lock you up.
But aside from Morgan Elspeth, who we'll learn a little more about later in the episode, we get to meet Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati.
Now, these characters are cool.
They're dope.
Okay, now I don't know. I'm gonna have to rely on you, obviously, a little bit for a little bit of information. Okay.
Okay.
Are these characters from the Rebels?
No.
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 Okay.
I want to say I was like searching my memory banks pretty hard, and I can't think I believe they're Ahsoka made. Like
Okay.
this show is
Um,
pulling them in.
if anybody has any information other than that, you just leave it right there in the comments.
Yes, please.
Because I love it when Grimm is wrong.
And it happens.
It's gonna
It
happen once
happens.
or twice in life, right?
Yeah.
Um,
But
and I'm gonna call
Star
you
Wars
out
is
every
my
time it
jam.
happens.
Star
Okay.
Wars is my jam.
These characters are cool. What was the first the male character?
The Master is
Uh,
Balin's skull.
Balin Skull. He's really cool.
Yeah.
I like this character a lot. Almost seems much more noble than your like bad guy characters.
Your general bad
Right.
guy. Well, see, because they mention it later, about him being previously a Jedi and disappeared at the end of the Clone Wars.
Okay, so a little something that I picked up on just a little bit of research about this is that when he says, "You got one thing right, we're certainly not Jedi,"
Right.
right? And then they pull out their sabers, and a lot of people, I don't know whether you got to adjust your TV or not, but apparently those are not red sabers.
Oh.
Those are an orangey saber,
Okay.
and that was intended for the sake of them being somewhere between
They're lightly dark.
like a Sith
Yeah.
and like a Jedi.
Sure.
So like
So a fallen Jedi.
they're somewhat neutral.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, I don't know about her.
But him,
Shin Hati's pretty.
she seems.
She seems a little feral.
Yeah.
Like she's a bit wild.
But I think they're intended to be like not full on Sith.
That's
type
fair.
deal,
I
right?
mean, if they disappeared right at the end of the Clone Wars, the likelihood that they were trained by a Sith Lord of any kind is low. If it's canon, there is like a planet where there was a bunch of Sith that crash landed, couldn't get off, and created their own little Sith society on this other planet before the fall of the Sith Empire. But the likelihood of them just running into them and being trained as
Yeah.
Sith.
So I just think it makes them a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Why even just the way he talks about, having to find and fight and potentially kill Ahsoka. Yeah.
It's
In
a
episode
shame.
2, it's a shame to kill her because there's so few Jedi left.
Yeah.
Which is just an interesting
So
sentiment.
I don't know if we're gonna try to stay on episode 1 and
Well, I'm
then
gonna try.
gradually go
Yeah.
to episode 2.
Yeah.
But like it is something we have difficulty doing.
Yeah,
Is
well,
not
especially when they drop 2 episodes.
referencing that second episode, but we'll try. So you get that scene where I believe they've been hired.
Yeah. So like they're even very mercenary like, which gives me like some Asajj Ventress vibes because she was very much she became a bounty hunter even, and she was trained as a Sith. So it kind of vibes me that way, and I'll talk about Asajj later too, potentially. I'm just kind of thinking about
Yeah.
episode 2.
It's hard not to. So they bust her out.
Yeah, break her out.
Okay.
It's time to go. Gonna find Thrawn, looking for a key.
Yeah. So then
We skip right over to Ahsoka.
we skip right over to Ahsoka, who is pretty much recreating a scene from The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't even think about it.
It has some serious Fifth Element vibes.
I did the way that she moved, like Rosario Dawson, obviously did her research on Ahsoka, because the way that she moved when she was cutting that hole to drop down into the thing gave me Ahsoka vibes. Like it felt authentically Ahsoka.
That move where she just throws the sabers into the ground and then uses the force to cut the hole and she does it a couple times, I guess. I guess she does it from the underneath.
Yeah, we don't get to
right?
see it.
And I guess she does use that move when she's younger in Rebels once.
Yeah. It's a dope move, and it felt authentic, which is something I always like.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the world is complaining about her
Authenticity.
performance with this character.
It's literally the lack of that. I think people are just missing the that youthful energy that they loved from her cartoon character.
Yeah.
But even initially, like when they first introduced her, people hated her. So
I don't get it.
I don't know. I've loved Ahsoka since
Yeah.
she debuted in that okay Clone Wars movie, which was
Like people hated the character?
yeah, yeah,
I don't get it.
they
She's a
weren't
great
fans.
character.
And her character development from that movie all the way through Clone Wars through Rebels, just
That was by far not like a great
that Clone
that
Wars
Clone Wars
movie.
movie.
No, it wasn't.
Not a great introduction
No,
to the Clone Wars and everything, right? Like it was
it
lackluster,
was clunky.
right? But it got the point across and developed a great character, right? So I don't see how people could not enjoy that character. You know, just like you said, the development
Yeah,
is far beyond a lot of other characters.
for sure.
You know, and now,
For me, Ahsoka is definitely one of those, legends character
yeah,
range, like
not
in
like
the
Star Wars
Vaders and
Legends.
the Skywalkers and the Boba Fett's and
I think people have like she's definitely a fan favorite now.
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Like there's
which is why people are going to be
nitpicky,
nitpicky on
right?
some things. But again, you have to understand that she's an older Ahsoka.
She's been through a
She's been
lot.
through some hard times. She's put up a wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm okay with it. You
yeah.
know,
It
I
happens
think
to
she
the
does
best
a
of us.
great job in this.
I'm all about Rosaria Dawson.
So she, you know, does a little bit of Fifth Element work,
Yep.
finds the key.
So that I was I found it interesting the parts where she was looking for the key and she was listening to those stone pillars,
Mm-hmm.
like she was
In tune with them type deal.
so the way that I was kind of thinking about it is it seems like she can sense echoes in the force where the force is like a strong.
Well, I mean, she use a power of some sort to recall the battle later on?
Yeah, so she can kind of pull those echoes from
Yeah.
from the
So
room.
that makes sense.
Yeah, which I think is a nod to Cal, I believe, from Fallen Order and stuff.
Okay.
Because I think he can do the same kind of
Again,
thing.
something I'm need to do.
Okay.
All right. See, this is why I got you here for this.
Yeah.
All right. This is the perfect excuse to have you here.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
You know. Um. Anyway, eventually she finds the key from. She finds
the from
the
Guardians
map.
of the Galaxy.
No, she finds the map from Treasure Planet.
Oh, is that what that is?
All right.
I thought it was Guardians of the Galaxy orb.
That orb.
Yeah.
No, it's go and watch Treasure Planet. It's the exact same thing. It's literally an orb that you have to solve, and then a map comes out of it, and then they take it to a special place where the map gets bigger, and it's the same thing.
Oh. Nice.
Absolutely the same thing.
Well, you got to pull material sometimes.
You know,
from
that's a great movie, by the way.
yeah.
Treasure
Planet?
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen Treasure Planet.
watch it. It's a good movie.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
I like it.
Treasure Planet.
I like it a lot.
Uh,
Good movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best animated movies. That it's a
Is that the one where they have the flying ships?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's got like some steampunk elements to it and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
it's a
okay.
great movie.
No, you're right. You're right. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna watch it again.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. So they grab the map.
And
she grabs the map.
and she gets set upon by HK assassin droids
Is that what they are?
with electro staffs.
Electro staffs. Somebody's getting down to the nitty gritty of this. All right. These things mean business. The one just stares at her for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's intimidating. But he says
To her though,
no. Well, she was a little worried. She had to even the odds up by dropping some of them underground, so it was a little
I don't
fair.
know. Like I just don't know that any. They didn't have a chance. Obviously.
Ahsoka's pretty badass.
Like why do they send these low level?
Because those HK assassin droids could honestly take out theoretically a Jedi, one less skilled than Ahsoka, not Ahsoka herself,
Okay.
not like a Luke Skywalker or
So like
the big name Jedis. No,
somebody you've not heard of.
but like Jim
Jim the Jedi.
the Jedi. It's not gonna.
If
He can't take on.
they don't put a Jim the Jedi somewhere in Star Wars now,
I hope they do. That would.
it's something that I truly want.
Yeah. Oh, Jedi Master Jim.
Jedi Master Jim. No, he can't be a Jedi Master.
Sorry,
He's in training.
it's a Padawan Jim.
Padawan Jim.
Makes me think of Earthworm Jim.
Yeah. There's a lot of good characters named Jim, okay?
That one.
Okay, there's a few.
Okay. So gets set upon, takes these guys out, self-destruct, and then we get to meet
Oh yeah, that explosion.
Oh,
That
the explosion
explosion.
was
Like
bad.
that's
Crazy.
planet wide.
That's carpet bombing.
Now,
And they just ruined a perfectly good temple.
yeah. Like an ancient temple.
Yeah. Oh, and I can't.
Did it have anything to do with the gunpowder lying around everywhere?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Gunpowder.
That's what it looked like to me.
Just piles. Whole planet's made of gunpowder. Hyung, which is a weird droid name. Don't you think?
Dr.
Huyang.
Dr. Hu Young.
Yeah, Huyang.
You know why they call him Dr. Hu Young?
Why?
Because the guy who voices it was Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Dr. Hu Young.
That's adorable.
Isn't it? That's a good drone, though.
Huh? Drone.
Droid.
He's a Mark IV architect droid, first of all.
He's an architect drone.
Droid.
Yeah.
Droid. Huyang. David Tennant is Doctor Who? Or
One
was
of the
Doctor
Doctor
Who?
Who's.
Well, I guess it's a lot of them.
I don't know the Doctor Who names, the actors for Doctor Who. I just know that he's Doctor Who Young.
Okay. Picks her up. So that's a cool look into the old Jedi Order too, is that, those younglings would have been initially taught things by these kind of droids.
Yeah, he taught them about the sabers and stuff, right?
How to build them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Which
A lot
is
of
why
droid
he
work.
was able to recognize one of the
Yeah. Skulls.
sabers,
Yeah.
right?
Skull. That sounds like a dark side.
It does.
Name, doesn't it?
Her saber is slowly turning really red. Like, there's nothing to it. It's
happening. So yeah, Young saves her up, and then they get called to that busted ship.
the busted ship.
Yep. Morgan Elspeth's transport ship, where I got super excited as soon as I saw the behind shot of Harrison Dula walking. I was so excited.
Who's Harrison Dula?
But when they go to the ship that they get called to, that's all broken because Morgan Elspeth's been rescued. Hera is the one who's walking to meet them.
Is that the
platform,
commander?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know who you mean now.
Yeah.
You could have just said Green Girl.
No, Harrison Dula.
Okay, so let's talk about her for a few minutes.
Let's talk about Hera.
Okay.
One of the most talented pilots in the galaxy. Okay, Twi'lek. Grew up in war.
She is a Twi'lek.
She's a Twi'lek. She grew up in war. Was the daughter of a couple of the rulers of the Twi'lek home planet before it was taken over by the Empire, and they enslaved the race. And now a lot of Twi'leks have been enslaved and are still in slavery in a lot of systems. And that's kind of where you get all of those slaved answers and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm fascinated first off by the very low amount of breathing you did while you said all that.
But Harrison Dula, pilot of the Ghost,
And
which we haven't seen yet, and we better.
I'm quite interested because I found her one of the most fascinating characters in these 2 episodes.
So as you go through Clone Wars, you'll get to... Is it Clone Wars? I'm sure it's Clone Wars. You'll get to meet Hera as a little girl.
And then
before
she's
she's ever flown a
and then
spaceship,
she's young
a
during
starship.
Rebels.
And then she's pretty young during, well, she's like pretty young during Rebels, and just kind of like joined and hasn't become a commander yet.
Yeah. I found that her and Chopper were
Oh my
my
god.
favorite parts of this.
We'll get to Chopper
These
with the
two,
episode 2 piece.
yeah,
And I was already spewing nonsense about Chopper to these guys before you got here.
yeah. I found those to be my two favorite characters for these two episodes, and I do hope that they continue. But I have my doubts.
I'm sure we'll get little
Snippets.
because they are like big fan favorites. Hera has been a certified badass throughout Rebels and continues to be that.
And I hear Chopper's gotten himself into a little bit of trouble here and there.
Chopper has one of the highest body counts in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that they've said that may actually be a traitor.
He's a war criminal.
Oh yeah, that's what they said. A war criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's like a solid 4,000 confirmed kills, but it could be upwards of 50,000.
Yeah, that's
He's
a
an
lot
animal.
for a little droid.
He's an animal. He's blown up 2 Star Destroyers by himself. Like, he's a monster.
Yeah,
He's
he's
sassy.
a good little droid.
He's got his little arms.
His little arms and his wobbly head.
Yeah. Because he's kind of junky, but
Yeah.
not all the way junk.
Clearly, he
Chop.
has some issues aiming. He's a little bit disorganized.
Yeah.
you
But he
know?
has he's used, like, rifles. Like, he's shot at people. It's happened.
With his little arms.
Yeah. He's an animal.
Because I watched a couple snippets of him, and he's like constantly getting in everyone's way and like tripping people and stuff, and just a little scamp.
Yep. He's pure chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like him.
It's great.
But yeah, those two are my favorite characters in these two episodes.
And we don't get to see Chopper until episode 2, but
Yeah,
I was ridiculously excited. I think you get to see him on like a platform in one of the other shows even.
Mhm.
Like, you just kind of see him rolling by or whatever, because it must have been, I want to say it was the Mandalorian even, that they could pull in somewhere and they're talking to somebody, but the ghost is sitting on the dock and stuff, and you kind of see Chopper in the background and stuff. But
And
so
his-
the ghost, I'm hoping we see the ghost,
Yeah.
by the way. 'cause
even
we did
his I'll call it dialogue, but it's not really dialogue. I guess it's very, it's less like beep bop boop
Yeah.
and more like a muffled like
like this
actual voice.
muffled scream yelling at
Like
people.
you can kind of even understand what he's saying.
I find that
in a
if you
manner.
watch enough Star Wars, you can kind of understand droids. Yeah.
You also live with your wife, who is sometimes can understand complete gibberish.
That's true. Yeah, she
So-
can. I may have picked something up. But yeah, so we get to see Hera, this first live action Hera, but not the first member of the Spectres, who are the rebel group that we've met, because we got to meet Zeb,
Yeah, Zeb was cool.
which I hope we get to kind of float in again.
I think that'd be cool. Because they did a great job in was it the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
With the introduction of him.
And he looked brilliant.
Yeah.
So, and Hera looks brilliant.
I think like it'd be cool to see the majority of them pop in. Like obviously, I mean we're jumping ahead a bit, but
Yeah.
I think eventually we'll see them bring Ezra back.
Yeah, and I mean, if they bring Ezra back, then you're gonna have like a reunion kind of jam.
Yeah.
Not a full reunion because Kanan's dead, but
Thanks.
spoiler alert.
Gosh,
See that?
I don't know why it always looks like I'm yelling.
Yeah. Which was a very emotional piece of
We'll
Rebels.
be less emotional now
Yeah,
for me.
for you. Sorry, sorry about that.
No, this is what I get myself into.
Yeah.
This is the part of the job.
And you take
Right.
it very seriously, so I thank you. So Ahsoka and Hera kind of have a back and forth. And you can see like the relationships for Ahsoka aren't terribly great. Like
Yeah.
they're very
Rocky,
standoffish.
FS. I don't feel like there was a lot of distance between them. Right? Not quite as much as like
Sabine.
Sabine. Like another character that was like an awesome character that I feel like I'm just being introduced to
Oh
this
my
character.
god.
So
And it's weird how there's a lot of great characters throughout all of the Star Wars series when you watch them individually. And the team on Rebels, I think, felt like one of those teams that's right up there with like Luke, Leia, Han,
mhm.
and Chewie, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Like it felt like this great team. All of the characters were great,
Yeah,
and their dynamic was awesome.
I feel like so far it's been a little refreshing actually. Like these characters are, I'm kind of learning about them, so they feel new, and
Yeah,
some of the older characters kind of like we've been there, we've done that,
yeah,
we've overdone some of it, to the point, or to a point, and like some of these characters seem like a nice, refreshing take on the Star Wars universe type deal,
yeah.
and you know, like Sabine being a character that's like very, it's a complex character, like she's got
Yeah.
a lot of layers,
Well,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Her being a almost a failure at being a Jedi,
yeah.
right?
But a badass Mandalorian.
Yeah. When I saw that Mandalorian helmet under the desk, I was like, ooh.
Episode 2. Yeah,
Again, yeah, so we're terrible at not splitting these episodes up, but
we can't.
it's
Um,
just you hear something and you get excited,
yeah,
and that's what these shows are supposed to do, right? If you don't get excited, why are you watching it, right?
that's right. Um, so we'll skip back before we meet Sabine. It floats back to that temple, and the baddies are there. Um, which we get to find out that Morgan Elspeth is a Night Sister, and
Which is a little confusing
is it?
because I thought the Night Sisters were of a different race altogether.
So a lot of them are. Most of them are. It doesn't mean that they all are, but
Okay,
they're mostly from Dathomir.
so they're witches,
They're witches, yeah. They
like
utilize the Force in
an
a
ancient
different way,
manner.
yeah. Because there's certain things that can use the Force that aren't Jedi or aren't Sith. They
But
are
this
sensitive.
comes off as a much more ancient force than the Force.
Yeah, they've been able to touch the Force for a long time, but
Yeah.
most of them have been destroyed because Clone Wars again, um, because of things around Darth Maul
Yeah.
and um, his brother Savage Opress and Ventress. They kind of just ended up going and just wiping everything out. So the fact that there's some reference to Night Sisters this far forward
Yeah.
is really neat.
And they've mentioned the Night Sisters in The Mandalorian as well, so
Yeah,
it's not a new concept.
no,
It's been canon.
and the Night Sisters are like a loved group of people of baddies. Like
Hmm.
they're not that Asajj was always a baddie. Like there's definitely times that I liked her I liked her character, and then when she became a bounty hunter, she kind of changed a bit. It was a cool shift. Same as Darth Maul. I
Hmm.
wasn't always opposed to Darth Maul. I was like, he's a cool character, and
You're
when you
not really opposed to a lot of villains, though.
no, that's fair. I'm
Like
not opposed
you're
to.
kind of like a Thanos is right kind of guy,
He wasn't wrong,
you know.
was he?
I'm not here to debate that.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, um, so we just find that out, and then they're gonna go look for. Uh, we finally get to hear that officially that Sabine was her apprentice, which I thought was kind of cool.
Was
I wasn't,
Ahsoka's.
yeah, and I wasn't expecting that really.
So why were you not expecting that?
I never really saw Sabine as Jedi.
So was she an apprentice
No,
in the Rebels?
no.
Okay, so that answers my question.
She did swing around Darksaber at one point for a bit.
Yeah, no, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. That was so Canadian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
no, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. We just circle right back around.
Yeah.
No, that makes more sense then.
Yeah. So I I'm presuming that we're gonna get some
Backstory
backfill
to
like
that.
on that,
All right.
and whether that's like I don't know whether how much flashback they're gonna do, but I think past this episode we're definitely gonna get some flashback stuff around kind of where we're
I thought
at.
maybe we would during these two,
We got none,
but nada.
and I think that's just they're building up the tension.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh. And then we'll get it, and we'll be like, oh,
Oh, this all makes sense,
tying up all of the stuff.
bro.
And we get 8 episodes instead of 6, which is
That's not bad.
wow.
Not bad.
I'm happy
And
with
hour-long episodes too.
it. Yeah, thus far.
You know, even
Hopefully
though
they don't do that weird thing where they just slowly decrease
Yeah.
until it's like 30
even though they
minutes.
did feel on the shorter side, but I feel like that was because I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I felt like I could have got more. So
It's not good when they feel long.
no, that's and I
But
feel
when-
like that's
But
recent
when
shows
they
that
are long and you enjoy them.
then they feel short.
Yeah.
That's
not-
what you
yeah,
want. That's
what
a good
the
show.
sweet spot.
Yeah. So there's no like in between.
No.
It's either good enough that you want more and you didn't get enough.
Yeah.
Or it's way too much.
Yeah.
So
And that can be said about a lot of things in life.
We'll reference those later.
So yeah, the apprentice Shinhati gets sent to, I don't know why I want to say it like that every time.
Shinobi?
Gets sent to Lothal. Lothal, if you haven't seen Rebels, is a big deal. Lothal's like the spot for Rebels. And the same as we get to see a Loth cat. It's a big deal if you've seen Rebels.
Yeah,
It's
see, if you
exciting.
haven't seen Rebels, you're not quite as excited to see this thing.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, that's cute.
But it's cool.
Yeah. I know. I thought it was cool because when I was reading about it, there's no CGI there.
There is CGI for some of the scenes, but all the up close stuff is
Yeah.
all practical.
Yeah. Which I thought was great.
Again, you know, even if it looks cheesy, like the jumping from
Don't care.
from Grogu, it just makes something special.
Yeah.
Right? And
And-
it goes back to the classic Star Wars, you know, puppetry.
I agree.
Right? It feels welcomed here.
I
Right?
agree.
But that didn't. You'd be hard pressed to see the difference between like a CGI and puppetry here. Like it was good.
It was great. Loth cat was amazing.
Yeah, I want one.
I would love one. And if that's a puppet, I could have one. It's not like if it was CGI and I couldn't
want-
have one.
I want it to be real.
You want a real one. I don't
Is that
AI
too
AI
much
is
to
doing
ask?
a lot of things right now. So
No, it's got to be animatronic, obviously, because I want it to exist in my home.
it's just gonna like move around and stuff. And
It's
mow at
it's
you.
like a modified Furby.
I don't know. I'd feel awkward. AI goes off the rails and it starts talking to you in like English or something weird. I don't like it.
I'm lonely.
I don't want a robot.
I'm lonely.
I don't want a robot.
You watch us. You watch Star Wars and you're a huge fan of Star Wars, but you don't want a robot.
Yeah, I'm scared of what people would do with it.
It's not
with
going to
it.
be iRobot all of a sudden.
Are you sure?
When has
Sure?
a droid ever gone off the rails?
Couple of times.
I guess so.
So then we get Sabine Wren, who jumps her ceremony.
Well, she's
By-
a bit of a rebel.
Governor Ryder Azadi, which is another important character from Rebels, and from Lothal.
So they're having a ceremony.
Yeah.
And in the background is
a
a
wicked ass mural that
painting.
you have no
straight
idea.
Well, I assumed that it was from Rebels.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be a show that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Great. I
With
got to
the
do a
two-
bunch of
the two
research
wolves
now.
and stuff. Yeah, there's a
Right?
lot.
But it was spot on.
Yeah.
Right? And
The art style was super similar. It was great. It was great.
You know,
I
so
was,
they're
I was like, I paused it and I was like looking at it and I was like, Teresa, look.
well, they did a side by side in a video I was watching, and it was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
So the ceremony's happening. They're gonna honor her. I still don't understand why, because I didn't watch
Well, they
anything.
saved the whole planet, kind of
Okay.
sent. The Battle of Lothal was like when Ezra and Thrawn
Oh, you should have just said that.
ended up in wherever they ended up, which
Okay.
is the whole premise of this show, basically.
All right then.
Yeah.
You should have just said the Battle of
The Battle
Lothal.
of Lothal. Yeah.
Lothal.
Lothal. Loktarogar.
Lotarogar.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna honor her, but she's nowhere to be found,
No.
and she's scooting off on her speeder.
It's just pure badassery again.
Yeah.
Did she have a helmet on? She just rode
Yeah, I
with
think
no
so.
helmet? I don't think she did. Did she have a helmet? Oh, good.
I think so.
Safety first.
Yeah, I mean we got to promote safety.
That's right.
You don't just go off on your speeder without a helmet.
That's right. And your safety goggles.
To the point where the guards are chasing her down.
Mm-hmm.
She's being all badass about it. Scoots off to her little.
She slides under that
Oh yeah, cool.
ship too, all like an
You're like-
action hero.
You're like, she's gonna hit it. She gonna hit it.
I thought she was gonna like ramp off the wing or something.
No, what she did was cool.
Yeah,
that
just to
was
slide
that
under.
was some Terminator stuff
Yeah.
right there.
or some like Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like for real.
for real.
She goes to her little what is it, a communications tower?
Yeah, the old communications tower again.
Again,
It's a big deal if
Yeah.
you've watched Rebels.
so it's one of these things where Dan should just get busy and watch a bunch of stuff.
I don't think there's that many seasons of Rebels, is there?
I don't know, but I'm not struggling through, but who has the time to watch 17 seasons of freaking Clone Wars?
This guy.
You know,
Twice.
twice. I've watched the first bunch of episodes about a bunch of times, and then I forget what's happening and I start over.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking.
It is, but it's worth it.
So that's where you see, for the first time,
Loth Cat.
the cat,
Mhm.
the helmet,
Yes.
which gets me excited because obviously not knowing the character, finding out that she was a Mandalorian.
Is a Mandalorian.
And they mentioned that too.
Yep.
Right? It's really cool.
Yeah. And she's an artist, which is why all her stuff's really vibrant.
Yeah.
And it makes her like kind of a strange Mandalorian actually, because when you see her in Rebels and stuff, she's always like her armor's always like painted out like graffiti style.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like super bright, not just that dull kind of greens and things that a lot of them wear.
Yeah.
Although some of them wear like some bright red or whatever, but it's usually
Depending
uniform.
on their clan, I guess.
Yeah, but it's usually really uniform.
Yeah.
And hers is like all kinds of crazy colors.
Hers is very artistic.
Yeah. She's
So,
an artist.
Yeah, it makes for a cool character. Like
Yeah.
just like I was saying, those layers.
And to be a Jedi and a Mandalorian, she'd be like the second
I
one.
don't know about a Jedi
If
right
she
now.
becomes a Jedi, if she manages by the end of this to be a Padawan and become a Jedi, she'd be like the second one. Second Mandalorian Jedi.
Yeah. So Green Lady, Hera,
Hera. Yeah.
you know, her suggests that because there is some trouble opening up the treasure planet map,
Yeah.
or
You know who could open it?
yeah, you know who could open it? Oh well, I don't know if she wants to see me.
Mhm.
All right.
But which that okay? So if there's something that I'm gonna nitpick
You
about.
just had a stroke.
If there's something I'm gonna nitpick about, it'd be that Ahsoka didn't think that she would want to help her open this thing as soon as she mentioned Ezra and the fact that that could be where Ezra is.
Like she wouldn't be thrilled to find.
She maybe even if she hated Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was like, "This could be a way to get Ezra back," Sabine's gonna help right away, even if she hated her. So it was just a
Where's
weird
the
line.
hesitation then,
Yeah.
right?
Why wouldn't she help?
Because things are
I don't think
awkward.
she wants to see me.
Things
Well,
are awkward.
you're gonna go save Ezra?
Deep down,
Silly.
you didn't want to see her.
That's the only
That's
thing.
it.
That's it.
All
I
right.
don't want to go talk to her.
Anyway, there is some awkwardness between them.
Yeah.
You know.
Which Sabine doesn't help because she just takes off with the thing after she was told not to take off with the thing.
Yeah, but she's got to go to her comfy zone.
That's right. That's where I do my best work. I don't have a comfy zone. I have children.
There's no such thing as a safe zone for you. Just to do your work.
No.
You'd never get that map open.
No. Leave the house. Yeah, the children would do it.
You'd be like, children.
Yeah, Bass would be like, let me see that.
So you're saying your son Bass would have prevented a war?
Yeah, Bass is my Sabine.
You say that?
Where Chase is my Zeb.
Yeah. You're like, good night, my little Sabine.
I'm gonna start calling him that.
Poor child.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's told to open it. She thinks she can. She steals it.
Mm-hmm. With a scan of the temple.
Mm-hmm. And then after some time, she figures out the clues, opens it up. Yep. Doesn't have time to really understand it yet.
Right.
Before
HKs.
Yeah. They jump in. One of them steals the map.
Yeah.
The other two stayed around to fight her off, I guess, right?
Yeah. And when he smashes her stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just bashes it all up.
Just rude. Wrecked. They're thorough.
Yeah.
I
guess. They're good at what they do. They're
right.
HK assassin droids, Dan. They don't mess up.
My apologies. God. They're not no low rate curvy bot.
They're not a curvy bot. If you don't know what a curvy bot is, please go back and watch our recaps of Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Fun times.
Where you'll find the curvy bot. So yeah, she goes and digs around in her case of junk, whips out her lightsaber.
Yeah, or Ezra's lightsaber.
Yeah. Was Ezra's, but
yeah.
she made some modifications.
It was. Yeah, we learned that.
Hyung told me. And goes to fight Hati.
Drones.
Wow, those guys were...
She does take out one of them.
Yeah, those guys. But if you ever get to see Sabine fight in Rebels, she's a pretty accomplished hand-to-hand
Like
fighter.
with a saber?
Not so much with the saber, but... I mean, with the saber too. But just in hand-to-hand combat, she's a Mandalorian. And
so
was raised as a
just
Mandalorian.
Rusty right now, then, because
shaking off the rust.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That she did go up against a Jedi trained apprentice that didn't stop training.
Yeah. So like she was all like hard hits and no finesse.
Mandalorian.
Right? Yeah. Makes sense. Right? But like a trained, I don't want to say Jedi because that's not what she is, but trained in the Jedi ways.
Yeah.
Right? Her training is very Jedi-esque. Right?
Well, and if she has any force power, she can go beyond the so there's like several stages of combat that they go through. And to get to like the fourth or higher, you need actual force power skill.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I don't know.
If Sabine's is like low grade, she's only going to get to like that third stage kind of.
Yeah. Third stage Jedi.
Third degree.
Right.
We'll call them degrees so it's easier to understand.
But yeah, so she gets like smoked pretty much.
Yeah, she kind of half holds and then
gets stabbed in the side, which is
shanked.
Technically where episode 1 ends.
Yes.
But we've talked a lot about episode 2 already, so segueing into that is
just
not
right in there.
Going to be too difficult.
No, it's not.
Ahsoka is alerted
Yeah.
about it all, doesn't make it there in time for a capture or a real rescue. Um, but
Get
luckily,
away with the orb,
yeah, they get gone with it.
the star map.
Yeah. The lucky enough we have we're in the Star Wars universe, which
Yep.
means that getting stabbed in the side long term doesn't really mean too much.
Unless you were there for a bit.
Yeah.
But
Now I was wondering if she was going to end up with like the cybernetic parts, kind of like
no, it's just
other
one little
characters,
hole.
right?
It's just a little
But no,
hole.
they just got a doctor bot to.
Well, because some of the characters, when they get shivved like that, you know, they're not like good people and they can't just whip over to a reputable hospital. They got to
Yeah.
go to like some junk dealer hospital and then they're like,
They're like, hey, we had to go to like a vet.
yeah. So now you have a cybernetic leg,
Yeah,
but it's actually a dog leg, but
yeah,
you're fine.
it'll be fine. I'm
Fine.
sure it'll be fine. It won't hinder you at all.
That one jumps really high.
All right. So she's in the hospital. Sabine,
Sabine, Wren,
Mrs. Wren,
Miss Wren.
Miss Wren.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it come about that Ahsoka goes back to the watchtower?
Well, after Sabine wakes up, she's just kind of pissed and then is asking about whether anything was left. And then when she says that she took one of those droids out,
Mm-hmm.
that was when Ahsoka was like, "Oh, really?
Maybe there's another
Gonna
one
go look
kicking
for it."
around.
Yeah,
All right.
because I think because she got attacked by 5 at once, right? And if there was only 3, did they pick up all the pieces, et cetera, et cetera? So she's, I think, kind of looking for parts.
Yeah.
Also, she was kind of listening into Sabine's dream, like sensing what she was dreaming. Is what it seemed like.
Yeah, and she had recalled that fight too when she was walking back up to it, right?
Yeah.
So she had a sense that there was still something going on there, right?
Yeah. Then gets upstairs, quick zips the head off of a HK droid like a boss,
Which is helpful because now they have information.
which could explode. I
Yeah,
thought that was
that's
great. It was a great bit of scene too. I feel like Sabine had it, and Hyung pulled the plug.
Yeah, I feel the part where she's like, "Oh, it could explode," and then the is it Hana?
Hua?
No,
Hyung?
not Huyang.
Hera? Syndulla.
Hera Sundula.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, just go for it." And
Yeah.
and
Because you're a hologram. Yeah.
you are a holograph. Why would you mind?
You don't care.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. So they find out some information.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Not all the information.
not all the information, but enough to go off of. You seem excited about something.
Because they find out that they got to go to Corellia, where the ships are being dismantled and the gear being reappropriated. Corellia is Han Solo's home planet.
Is that why this Solo movie was based there,
Yeah, it started there, yeah.
or started there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense
The
then.
Corellia piece.
Oh, cool.
Or as close to a home planet as you're going to get for Han Solo.
That's cool.
Yeah, Corellia.
So
I was like, oh, Corellia.
So while they're away,
Yeah.
Sabine is talking to Hulu,
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And he is completely tearing down her confidence.
A little bit. Felt like, yeah,
She's-
of all of the Jedi that I've trained in 500 years.
You fall short of them all.
Yeah.
I'm like,
For her force
sensitivity.
sensitivity.
Yeah. All right. I'm just like, this droid tells it like it is. Ain't no
Sometimes you
messing
get-
around with
Nope.
this droid.
No.
So that's what I like about him, though. So
Doesn't mess around. It's not going to sugarcoat it.
nope,
You don't learn that way.
that's right. And I think that was the point,
Yeah.
right?
It's like, yeah.
It was kind of like a do things your own way kind of thing.
But pure determination and hard-headedness. She's got that.
Yeah.
Mando spirit.
Yeah, so we kick over to that planet,
Corellia.
Corellia. I was going to say that.
I think you were.
I had it right at the tip of my mouth.
At the tip of your mouth.
What
Who says that?
do you mean?
That's not the saying. It's right at
Similar?
the tip of your tongue.
It's similar. Where does my tongue get to?
I don't know, but if it's on the tip of your tongue, it can get past your mouth.
Don't ever do that again.
See? What? What?
It was on the edge of my lips.
Do you even know sayings? You just
Some.
make them up?
Some of them. There's a lot of improvising.
I heard somebody say word out today.
Word out.
Yeah. They don't say peace out or word up. Word out.
Word out. I'm liking it.
Okay.
I like that, and I'll use it, I think.
Well, you might as well. You don't don't grasp any of the other sayings.
I don't see how it's that different. Anyway, like we were saying, we're on this planet
Yes.
where they are salvaging some of the
Old Imperial
tech, where they have the large, what are they? The thrusters or whatever. What are they? That's what they used to call me in college.
Large thruster. Jeez. I don't even know if that's good. Did you go to college?
No. Which is the weird thing.
They had big hyperdrives and
Hyperdrive
stuff.
is what I'm trying to say.
You get the feeling, that an ominous feeling as they're driving through the disassembly area, though, like a lot of weird people looking at them and stuff. And they are talking about the fact that there's a lot of previous Imperial that
they're just workers now, and it's the thought that most of them are just low-level grunts that don't care about politics and sides as long as they get paid, right? Which makes
is probably fair for some, or even
a
the
majority.
But
there's going to be loyal.
But yeah, if there's loyalists, then they're gonna do what they can to work their way up the ranks, right?
Yeah.
So.
And they're going to do it acting as if they're a low and grunt that only cares about the money.
That's right.
Right. And which is why you see probably most of the people in that room have done that. Yeah. And if it weren't for the one droid kind of ratting everybody out.
Yeah.
About the Imperial, what kind of droid was it?
It was an HK.
Yeah.
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 I think he's leaving on that shuttle over there, right there.
Yeah.
That guy.
And this is another scene where I really enjoy the general or commander there. Hera.
Yeah.
Just like, she's just badass. She's like, oh, you don't have clearance for that. Well, yeah, I guess I do. I'm, you're gonna give me that and stuff, and like in the calmest way too.
Yeah.
All right. She's just carried so well.
Cared so well. Is that what you just said?
I said she carries herself so well.
Carries herself so well. Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't know where you're at right now.
I'm uncertain 90% of the time where I'm at. Okay.
But yeah, she carries herself like a commander. Like she knows she
has the authority. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about this character that just had me hooked.
We get another great Ahsoka jam when she super jumps out of the window, like also a certified badass.
Oh yeah.
And then superhero lands about it, and then we get some primo fight scenes
with a character that I don't know if everybody's familiar with. Like, what's the name of this character?
The Thing, the individual that runs up.
Yeah.
Is an Inquisitor.
Yes, but it had a name.
I don't know which one. I can't remember, but I can. Orok? Morok?
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 Something along that line.
M ends in mock.
Mock?
What is Moraka?
Anyway, most people, when I'm reading about this and when I'm watching other things, All right. All right. Calm down, Mask.
When I play the maracas, they go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Most people are not familiar with who this actually is that I'm
Uh,
seeing. I've watched some videos. Most of the people.
I think he's. If it's that one in particular, then I believe in. There's a few episodes of. Is it Rebels?
I don't know. It's all you, bud.
Getting my things skewed, but he's an Inquisitor, so it had to be in Rebels.
Yeah.
In Rebels,
Like, it's clear that he's an inquisitor.
he's one of the individuals that are kind of tracking and hunting and trying to
Okay.
catch.
Will there be like a unveiling of the mask?
I don't think
type
he's ever
deal?
been unmasked. I
You
think
know,
he's always been weirdly masked. I think the other ones like would take off their stuff like their masks every once in
so
a while.
he's
So you
like
get a
a
picture of
like
their
a
face.
Snake Eye kind of character
Yeah.
where he.
If I'm right.
So
I could be wrong.
still a cool character. They have like a fantastic fight.
There's like a really shitty theory about him being Ezra, which I thought was ridiculous when I looked at it because I
That's
was like, that
weird.
doesn't even make sense.
That's weird. That would
It would
kind of
totally
really
derail the
ruin.
whole thing.
That would
I would
be a terrible,
if I was
terrible
gonna
plot twist.
theorize about it, because we were talking about sisters, the Night Sisters and stuff like that. If I was gonna theorize about who it could potentially be, and I would go with Asajj Ventress
Yeah, that's what I was
as a
thinking.
potential because she has a lot of Night Sister relation. She's from there. She's from Dathomir. What? Relation.
She's got relations.
Yeah. All her relations. No.
Oh no, if it's Ezra, I'm
If it's
out.
Ezra, it would ruin. I think it would ruin the whole show. Like
It would
it would legitimately
definitely-
just be like,
it would almost make me a little angry.
yeah, I'd be upset. I'm getting upset thinking about the possibility of it happening. Where at the end, somebody like
We're gonna need someone to come in and calm this guy down. It's
Sabine takes out this person, and then it's Ezra, and
yeah.
I'm like,
What a
no,
terrible
why
twist.
would that even happen? Doesn't make sense.
No, I don't like it.
He shot off into space to another
Yeah.
galaxy,
Yeah,
as we find out.
kind of ruins the whole plot.
Speaking of other galaxies, if this galaxy, because it's another galaxy far, far away, and it's not the Star Wars galaxy, there was a storyline where these beings came from this other galaxy, and I can't remember what they're called right now because it was pretty shallow storyline, but they came and they couldn't be touched by the Force.
Interesting.
So if that's a thing that they could,
Well, they could definitely open up a couple of storylines doing this.
for sure.
Now there is some talk about this, like Thrawn.
Thrawn.
He's not a thrall.
Hmm.
About him being in another time rather than
Another galaxy.
another place, or because she really emphasizes the time over space when she's talking. You know, we need to. This will take us to another time and space.
Mm.
So there's a good possibility that there's some sort of time play here too,
Could be, yeah.
right? And I believe in the Rebels, there's a space in between.
Yes.
I don't understand it a lot, but there is a space in between galaxies or something like that. I have to watch more to understand more.
Yeah.
But that's a basic concept, is pretty much, I think, right? I don't think they explored that much. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes,
There is a little chunk.
little chunk.
Yeah.
But they've made it so that it's difficult to carry on with that.
Yeah.
Because the place explodes, I think.
Yeah.
Because they don't want it to become a crutch to be able to just throw time management into things, right? Like the Marvel
Sometimes you
universe, it's
gotta
like,
time
hey,
yourself.
something's going on,
Let's time shift.
let's time shift it.
Fixed.
Retcon. But yeah, no, that's a cool concept though.
Yeah.
If you hadn't thought about that.
I did not think about that. No. I got too stuck on the galaxies piece, I
Yeah.
think, which I thought was cool.
Laura's farting over there.
And it'd be weird if like a Purrgil and whatever else happened in the Battle of Lothal kind of things ended up taking them into like some weird in between.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know how they're going to explore that or
I
whatever.
don't know.
So
They better explore it. So yeah, this is Chopper's big moment. Is as this wicked fight scene with Ahsoka and
the Inquisitor, where she fights off the bot, uses it as a shield.
Yeah.
And then he turns his blade into that double blade that starts spinning and chucks it, misses her, and then hops onto the ship.
With Hottie.
Pardon me?
With Shin Hati.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that someone was attractive.
No, that's her last name. Hattie, then?
You're just like, oh, he just hops on the ship with Hottie.
No, that's not what I meant. And they fly away to another planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things that I like is that he throws that Inquisitor blade.
I know exactly what you're
And
going to say. Yeah.
he hops on there, and Ahsoka is running after her. She has to stop, which I don't understand because as far as I'm concerned, she could jump like a mother effer. So there's a few times where I'm just like, you could have made that.
I feel like she could have made it.
Right? But without even like twitching, she just no look dodges that thing.
Just
as it
casual.
comes back.
Yeah.
No flinch, no
It was-
nothing. Like, if that's not badass,
It
I
was
don't know
worth
what is.
her just not chasing and jumping on just to see that.
Yeah,
It was great.
like that would have been an arm for me.
And just keep staring at him. Like,
Yeah, I won't get you. That would have been an arm for me.
yeah?
I
You would
would've-
have been like, oh. I think it would be an arm for most of us.
Like, lucky enough, now in this universe, I mean, boom, you have a
New mechanical
new
arm.
mechanical arm, but still, embarrassed would I be.
So, while that's all happening, we get the chase scene, and don't get the ghost, as we saw when they got to Corellia, which I was a little sad, because I want to see the ghost. But we get the Phantom 2.
The ghost is a ship?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Hera's ship. It's
Okay.
their big ship that
All
they
right.
all went on. Because she had the whole crew, so they were flying around in the ghost.
So the little...
The little thing is called the Phantom, and the Phantom, the first Phantom got destroyed. This is the Phantom 2, which is a modified Stealthipede class transport shuttle.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Which is super cool.
There's a lot of guys who are like, hey, dude, like, check out this Mach 1 Mustang with a 302 whatever and yada yada. And you're like, well, it's a Phantom X57
No, it's the Phantom 2, which is a modified
with
Stealthipede
stealth pedos.
transport shuttle. That's
You're
what it is. It's cool.
one of the coolest people
It's
I know.
cool. It's so cool. She's chasing him in
It is
that
pretty cool.
with Chopper.
Chopper, my
Who's
man.
Just mouthing her off nonstop on the chase. Again, wants to go directly to just blowing that thing up. Let's
Oh,
just
yeah.
blow that up. I don't care if it's gonna fall on the city and kill those people down there. Let's just
The
blow that up.
dialogue between them is great. Like, because, like I said, it's not a lot of beeps and boops. It's like more of like a distorted actual voice.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of get more out of what they're saying. So you can see you can hear the sassiness in his voice.
And he's looking through trying to find the tracker that she wants, and he's
Yeah,
like
"Did you touch
complaining,
my
"Did
stuff?"
you touch my stuff?" No, I didn't touch your stuff. Did you check under this? And he's like, ooh,
Oh, here it is. And then,
And
I mean, he must have some low accuracy because,
he's definitely missed some shots.
like, is this true to his character?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a mess. Like
That's what I like about
he is
him.
legitimately just pure chaos. And Hera loves him and has kept him around the entire time.
Even though that he's a bit of a traitor
He's a mess.
and a psychopath.
He's a psychopath.
You know, this character is cool.
I was so excited that Chopper was there just for the pure
But
chaos of it all.
Chopper nails it
Crushed
this
him.
time,
Yeah,
okay?
he's like, boop.
Pops that tracking device.
Arms up.
The little arms are like the best.
Yeah.
Did he always have little arms?
Yes. It's just he has one of the biggest personalities of any droid in all of Star Wars.
You could say that a lot of droids have a lack of personality because it's in their programming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not him. He's
and it's usually the astromech droids that have most of the personality.
Yeah.
Like the R2D2. BB-8's got some personality. Chopper. Like, those are the ones.
Chopper is now one of my favorite droids.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Period.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get them all tracked. They're all happy about it.
They know where they're going. Hera's got to go Hera's got to go do her thing. Ahsoka's got to go pick up Hu Yang.
Hu Yang.
And in the meantime, Sabine's like, because actually at one point Hera and Ahsoka are kind of having that conversation where, you know, like, she's not ready. Well, how do you know? They'll know. Like, they'll know that they're ready.
Yeah.
And we get that, you know, Sabine pulling out the Mando armor and laying it out and cutting her hair.
Yeah.
And, you know, and she says, I'm ready. And there's so much power in that piece. And the fact that she cut her hair and looks more like
Now,
Sabine.
was it ever spoken of why she had, like, short hair? Because everything that I look at, they go, oh, well, she had short hair because it would get hot in her helmet type deal.
I think it would fit better in her helmet. You don't see a lot of Mandalorians running
Like,
around with their hair all.
I'm not gonna lie to
flying
you.
down
Like
their back.
when I saw the helmet, and I'm like, if she's gonna put it on, and then like her hair is just gonna be sticking out, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, that's not Mando.
that's pretty laughable,
That's not Mando.
right?
I think.
Like I
yeah.
didn't feel like all the other Mandos would have made some fun.
Plus, somebody could just grab your hair.
Yeah. So it did suit the character very well.
Yeah.
I saw some side by sides.
Yeah.
And really well done.
I loved it.
Right.
I was stoked. That whole like ritualistic prepping for ass kickery scene that she did, the whole laying out, cutting the hair, it felt great. Like,
Yeah,
it was a good scene.
very much like a ritual.
Yeah.
Setting up the armor. All, you know.
And we know Mandalorians are very ritualistic
Yeah.
warriors. Whether it's the helmet crew or the non-helmet crew,
There's some sort of
they
like
all have.
they've
something.
got a special way of doing their stuff, right?
And again, Sabine was like raised as a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She wasn't like a foundling. She was Mandalorian.
So she knows she's going to be going off, so she goes to that room where the image is painted, and she has a bit of a moment there, right? And that's when we see Ahsoka come in, and she's pretty much like, "You good to go?" Right? And they walk off together, similar to what happens in Rebels.
They're ready. She's ready.
Right? So they fly off, and she gives her the option. She gives this Sabine the option to fly out.
Yep.
All right, and then says the words that everyone wants to hear, which is, "Let's go, Padawan." Right? Now, is this a traditional Master Jedi and Padawan relationship?
It's not going to be.
Not quite.
Because
I think
Ahsoka was never given the title of Master. She
Yeah.
just.
so. I think these words are spoken um, symbolically
Well,
type deal. Like,
she's still a master, and if that's her Padawan and she's ready, then it's still going to be a Padawan. Doesn't matter whether she finished her training and became a master because she was given the title. She earned the title.
yeah,
That's a Padawan, as far as I'm concerned.
that is it's a great moment though.
Yeah, loved it.
You know,
You could see the pride in Hu Yang's metal eyes.
metal eyes is metal
He
lifeless
radiated. He
eyes.
radiated somehow.
Um, yeah, I think his pep talk earlier just really helped a lot. I think
Yeah, yeah.
so. Then obviously
What's this? What? Oh,
they fly off into the
they
distance.
fly off,
You know,
and they're off to find these guys who are hanging out on another planet, which is creepy. Just as we're looking at it, has a weird statue built there
yeah.
by people from another galaxy that's gonna take them there.
Is that where?
How is there a map to Thrawn's location hidden in some ancient ruins if he and Ezra had their battle and then shot off wherever in recent history? Because Night Sisters. Uh, so I think because the Night Sisters have more knowledge about just the galaxies in general, and you know they've been around for a long time and passed crazy amounts of force knowledge and other knowledge down through those generations. They have an idea of where Thrawn potentially went. And if it's the best possibility because it's the closest galaxy, then that's kind of where they're going to aim. They don't know for sure, but they do have some ability to see into the future too, those Night Sisters. Same as anybody who practices long enough with the Force can see things ahead, is kind of how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said mostly the same thing. I
Yeah.
think. So thank you for taking that one.
Yeah. You
Um,
can take the next one.
but yeah, no, I mean, I'll probably let you take that too because you know you just
that
have a
was
way
you.
with your
Is
words.
that you? Lil Wheezy.
just have a,
Thanks for commenting, Lil Wheezy.
but I would have explained it very similarly.
Yeah,
Because my knowledge is about the same.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody believes that.
No, I'm gonna be more prepared next time. Had a long week. I'm pretty exhausted.
Yeah. So let's finish this up then. They they put the treasure planet map on the thing just as they do in Treasure Planet. Not to say that they're mimicking that at all,
Mm-hmm.
which they are. But it goes big. All that stuff happens, and something that I just wanted to talk about was, I can't remember names. The two not Siths.
Skull
Okay,
and Hottie.
and who?
Hottie. Shin Hottie. Bale and Skull
Oh, Shin Hati.
and Shin Hottie.
But Balin is asked, what comes of this, right? And his answer, I really enjoyed was like, for some people it means war. For other people, this. For us, it means absolute power.
Yeah.
All right. So his motives, he doesn't care about the political outcome of all this and stuff. He has his own motives.
Yeah.
Like is he to be a big baddie in this?
Bigger than Thrawn?
Like, I just don't.
Thrawn's like certified baddie. Like he's bad.
I guess we'll see then. He's bad.
He's bad.
Who's bad?
Who's bad?
Okay.
Um,
Thank you very much.
but maybe Skull becomes, Thrawn's Vader
Hmm.
to his emperor.
Maybe.
Maybe that's where he's going. That's the thought.
All right. I like it. I'm in very much excitement for the.
I don't think that was proper grammar.
I haven't had proper grammar in my whole life.
I
Okay?
am in very much excitement. You sound like somebody that's English is your second language.
It is
What's your first?
gibberish.
Oh, I can see that. That makes
I
sense.
speak gibberish and poor English.
Okay, there, Yoda. In much excitement, I am.
Why is it? Why is it that you put a voice behind it and it sounds cool?
I don't know. It sounds right then, doesn't it?
You're gonna have to put the voice to it every time.
Time
Bananas.
for banana ratings, it is.
Banana ratings. It's time for. I'm gonna let. I'm going to let you start with your rating.
Okay. Let me think. Stellar episode, big reveals, great cameos. We get a lot of shit for just throwing tens around all the time.
We've not done it that many times.
You like everything, someone once said to me, and I'm like, that's not true. Go back and please
Yeah,
watch.
we got a lot of heat
Please watch some things.
for not liking something.
And
That was
the
terrible.
series that we just finished out
Wasn't great.
it was like mid.
Yeah.
It was pretty mid. So
I
think
feel like if you
feel
want
like
to give
I'm
it a
due.
higher score, then give it a higher score.
I'm gonna throw out. I'm gonna throw it a solid 9.
Okay.
I read a thing where that episode 1 was like a walk, and we started to get into a solid jog on episode 2. So I want to leave room for the sprint.
I wouldn't disagree with that, and I think that I would give you it a similar rating had I previously watched.
I was just gonna say, if you have not seen Rebels and like previous pieces of this puzzle, you're gonna end up ranking it lower,
So
and that's fair.
I want to hit somewhere around a 7.5 to an 8. Gonna go conservative with a 7.5, I think.
That's fair.
Giving it room. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah.
All right. Would I have enjoyed it more had I watched? I don't know. I may have been more excited about certain things.
Yeah.
But this was a great show.
And maybe I'm riding those little. Well, I know I'm riding those waves of seeing things that I recognize.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that I didn't know about these things. That wasn't a disaster. I didn't know about these things, and I was excited.
That's good.
Like, it was. This show has enough to hold in the interest of a person who's new,
Yeah.
and that makes for a great show.
I just want to quickly just scroll through my Easter eggs and see if I have any Easter eggs that we could have missed. I don't think we did. Home one. General Syndulla. Talked about Ezra. He's on a hologram.
Yeah, if you want to know more about Ezra and how he got there, I suggest watching Rebels.
But yeah, well, by the time we get through this, I'm sure we're going to spoil the how he got there kind of jam. So
I know very little about it. There's a comment apparently.
Episode 1 was an 8 for me. Episode 2 was a 9. Episode 1, I hated the ending. Don't end an episode on a death cliffhanger when the trailer shows the same character later on. That's fair. That's solid.
Yeah, I don't know if like
At that point, it's like, it went down a little bit.
I think I agree. I agree in a manner, but at the same time, I don't think it hurt it at all.
Well, you don't need a death cliffhanger, really, do you?
I don't know. I didn't. didn't when it happened. I didn't think to myself, "Oh, this made it terrible."
Remember that time that I watched the preview and I knew that, well, I didn't watch the previews for this. Like I didn't watch the trailers and stuff, um,
I didn't watch anything.
and
Clearly,
I didn't think she was dead. Like,
I thought it was.
oh, see, Force Echoes was one of the Easter eggs you've talked about.
I thought it was too soon for a character that they're just introducing to die. So I didn't think that she was going to be dead, especially because it wasn't like it didn't come off as a life-ending wound.
No,
Really?
big ouch.
Yeah.
Like people have been chopped in half. You know what I mean? Darth
Yeah.
Maul got straight
is
cut in half.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z universe. Like
Yeah.
everybody can come back.
Yeah. Unless you lose your head straight up or something like that. Like, got it.
Supernatural.
I'm really enjoying it, even though none of it makes much sense to me. I have an idea of, no idea who Ezra or Ahsoka are, but I'm still loving it.
Yeah. See, I knew who Ahsoka was, obviously.
Yeah.
But the rest of the characters new to me. But yeah, still, this is a show that was enjoyable, even if you didn't know the information.
See, that I don't know how it is, but like it sounds like it's cool to be meeting Hera in this show, as well as for someone that's, watched all of Hera's like growing up and everything, and
I will
becoming
tell
what she
you,
is.
to me, it was like a new character that really worked well.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, her and Chopper were my favorite parts of these 2 episodes.
Yep.
So, and that was exciting for me.
Nice.
Great show.
Thank you. Yeah.
And hopefully they don't ruin it.
You know what else was a great show? This one. And if
Yeah.
you agree, or even if you don't agree, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell,
Yeah, do that.
because
Tell your
we
friends.
value your opinion. Yeah, tell your friends.
Peace out.
Peace. Love you guys. So, hey, it's Peach. Can we get the outro? We got
Peaches,
an outro?
peaches, peaches, peaches,
Is this
peaches.
it? Peaches, 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 peaches.
I know you.
Yeah. That's good. It's a good show.
That was enjoyable to talk about.